I can only speculate about what the 50 million most devoted Trump fans would do and say and what they want. And what they want is way more than this. They want to go farther. They're gonna love this. They're gonna eat this up. It's why, remember, the first thing Trump did to appeal to people in 2015 when he came down that escalator was demonize Mexican people. But they want to see even more. And he sort of knows that. So he told a crowd in Iowa in September, following the Eisenhower model, we will carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in American history. That one that he's referencing, I guess this is a good thing that he doesn't want to say what the name for that operation was. That was Operation Wetback. So he's at least a little bit uncomfortable saying the racist name for it. He is not uncomfortable doing it, and doing it not at a 1954 level of bureaucracy, but with jet fuel applied to it, doing it with modern transportation and bureaucracy and law enforcement and surveillance and all of that. Now, some of you in the audience, maybe you're optimists, I don't know, might be saying, will he really do this? Well, bear in mind, he did a lot of his immigration stuff during the first term. Like, there were definitely priorities of his that he did not make good on, but the immigration stuff he was pretty aggressive about. Stephen Miller wants you to take it seriously. He says, any activists who doubt President Trump's resolve in the slightest are making a drastic error. Trump will unleash the vast arsenal of federal powers to implement the most spectacular migration crackdown. The immigration legal activists won't know what's happening, which definitely makes it sound legal. Like, immigration activists just literally don't know what's going on. And it's also a reminder of the philosophy of modern conservatives, that government is supposed to be very small and ineffectual when it comes to doing anything that benefits you, and so gargantuan and powerful that before anyone even knows what's happening, it can scour the entire country and deport tens of millions of people.
Absolutely.
So, think about that.
I mean, I think that's really, really important. John, what you just said there is, I think, something that we forget all the time, right? We focus on the economy a lot when it comes to conservatives. We focus on, oh yeah, like their small government, their corporate tax write-offs, and all that, and they just get rich in the meantime. But we forget about the police state. We forget about the same people who hate the so-called deep state love the police state. They love Border Patrol. They love the cops, because 9 times out of 10, they're not the ones getting their skulls cracked open. So they, like, as long as it's weaponized on the other, the immigrant, the black person, the activist, they love a massive police state that knows whether or not you ordered Plan C pills online. So never forget that, guys, when you're arguing with your conservative relatives this Thanksgiving, what they think about the expansive reach of Customs and Border Patrol, the fact that they have, 30 miles from any border where they have complete jurisdiction. Correct me, because I know it's not exactly 30, it might be more, maybe a little bit less, but it is wild what they can get away with. I know there's a little bit more that he says about the labor market, John. I just, like, this is just very funny to me. Like, yeah, who's going to wake up at 5 in the morning and like work the chicken farms? I've talked to like plant owners and factory owners who are like, literally, like, the pay is good. I just can't get even teenagers to wake up that early to like actually get these eggs from these hens. I need to hire immigrant labor. They're documented, but I need immigrant labor.
Yeah, we know that there were issues like that in Florida, obviously. But when you're talking about populations this large being taken out, there is no area of American society or the economy that will not be massively affected by this. And they either don't know that or don't care about that. He was asked about, this is gonna be like a massive disruption to the housing sector, let alone all these different industries. And he says, because he's an expert in the economy, Stephen Miller is, says mass deportation will be a labor market disruption celebrated by American workers who will now be offered higher wages with better benefits to fill these jobs. And if there's anything modern conservatives, in particular Stephen Miller, care about, it's the wages that American workers get. Americans will also celebrate the fact that our nation's laws are now being applied equally, and that one select group is no longer magically exempt. Not that select group, of course. The wealthy will always be magically exempt. That will never change. He's working overtime to become a part of that class. But anyway,
they will now be offered. See, the problem was there was too much cheap labor. Once that goes away, we have no choice but to offer higher wages. Like, no, you stupid, dirty capitalist. Don't you know how the system that you worship works? That's the whole point. You don't offer higher wages. You take advantage of undocumented people. You need this. You've taken advantage of slave labor. You're employing now children because you can't hire enough. So 13-year-old, okay, great. We're gonna go back to the coal mines. Kids are gonna get black lung. I love it.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that is actually the unspoken solution to this problem. In theory, were you to pull out millions and millions of people, then yes, there might be less supply to the labor market. And in theory, barring no other changes, that could raise wages. But they are desperately trying in a number of states to lower the age that you can be thrown into the mines or into the factories or literally into a chicken processing machine. Like, they are trying to solve both ends of this problem for themselves. So don't trust Stephen Miller with your future.
And they're dying, guys. There's like new reports about the number of kids, preteens, 13, 12-year-old kids who before school have a job and have died operating heavy machinery in the United States of America.
Yep. Look, little kids should not be paying attention to Greta Thunberg. What they should be doing is working in a pork processing plant and getting married at 13. I think we all know this.
We should have done that story today, by the way, the Greta Thunberg getting interrupted by the guy who didn't want to talk about Palestine.
It's just, we don't, I want it.
It's so good.
And it would have given you opportunity to do the impression.
First of all, Greta is not, I can't use this word, but an S-lib. I want everyone to remember that. Greta, she's a real one, y'all. Everyone tried to co-opt her, make her some kind of, like little emblem. She will F your crap up. I can't say all the words I want to say.
Okay, we're gonna check to see what she's up to for next Monday, for the next Fantastic Monday.